Welcome to Inside British Royals. This is your exclusive look inside the world's most famous family. We are exploring the scandals, secrets, and power plays that define the modern monarchy. If you are new here, please do well to hit that subscribe button for more updates. Just when the monarchy hoped the storm had finally passed, a new earthquake is shaking the foundations of Buckingham Palace. Something has shifted within the British monarchy, and the silence surrounding it is deafening. The ghost of the Epstein scandal is back, resurrected by newly released documents. But this isn't just about a disgraced prince anymore. The allegations are darker, the stakes are higher, and the damage threatens the credibility of a new king and his entire reign. This is the story of how another Andrew crisis is fast becoming the defining challenge for King Charles III. For years, the story of Prince Andrew and his connection to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has been a festering wound for the British monarchy. It's a crisis that has been managed, spun, and suppressed, but never healed. The royal family, or the firm, seemed to believe that by stripping Andrew of his titles and banishing him from public life, the worst was over. They were wrong. A massive new release of documents from U.S. authorities has reignited the firestorm, and the details are devastating. These aren't just old accusations rehashed. The files contain fresh, and in some cases, even more troubling revelations. They include photographs of a barefoot Prince Andrew crouching over an unidentified woman whose face is redacted. There are also email exchanges that appear to show contact with Epstein happening right after his house arrest ended in 2010. In one email, an account labeled The Duke seems to respond to an offer from Epstein for dinner with a beautiful 26-year-old Russian woman by saying he would be delighted to see her. But what's sending shockwaves through the palace is a new allegation that goes far beyond personal behavior and straight into the territory of national security. To understand why this is so catastrophic, we have to remember how we got here. The core of the scandal has always been Andrew's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, a relationship he bizarrely maintained even after Epstein's 2008 conviction for soliciting a minor. Then came the direct accusations of sexual abuse from Virginia Giuffre, which Andrew has always strenuously denied. The crisis hit a fever pitch with her tragic death by suicide in 2025 and the posthumous publication of her memoir, which brought her story back into the global spotlight. Of course, no one can forget his car crash BBC Newsnight interview in 2019. In what has become a masterclass in how not to handle a crisis, Andrew's bizarre excuses and stunning lack of empathy for Epstein's victims sealed his fate. He was forced to step back from royal duties and later settled a civil lawsuit with Giuffre, avoiding a courtroom battle but doing nothing to clear his name. For a while, the strategy was simple: containment. Hide Andrew from public view, strip his military titles, and hope everyone would just move on. But these new documents make that impossible, because they don't just question his morals, they call his very loyalty to the United Kingdom into question. And this is the escalation that changes everything. Buried in the new trove of emails are communications suggesting that while Andrew was serving as Britain's special representative for international trade, he may have been sharing confidential government information with Jeffrey Epstein. This isn't just a rumor. It's now the subject of a formal assessment by the UK's Thames Valley Police. The allegations, brought forward by the anti-monarchy group Republic, claim Andrew forwarded sensitive documents to Epstein that he received in his official capacity. The material reportedly includes confidential reports from trade visits to places like Vietnam, Singapore, and Hong Kong. In one instance, documents sent to Andrew by an advisor were allegedly forwarded to Epstein's account within minutes. As a trade envoy, Andrew would have been bound by strict confidentiality rules, possibly even the Official Secrets Act. So, the question is no longer about his terrible choice of friends. The question is now whether a senior member of the royal family, acting for the British government, passed sensitive state information to a convicted criminal. This is what makes it the king's crisis. You can't just frame this as the personal failings of a rogue brother anymore. This strikes at the very heart of the monarchy's relationship with the state. So what does this mean for King Charles? His entire mission since taking the throne has been to project stability and trustworthiness. This scandal threatens to tear that all down. The palace response has been swift but carefully worded. In a pretty shocking move, Buckingham Palace released a statement saying the king has profound concern over the allegations and that he stands ready to support the police assessment. But then came the crucial line. The statement made it clear that these claims are for Mr. Mountbatten Windsor to address. Read between the lines, and you see the strategy, distance, and containment. This is the royal firm acting like a cold, calculating corporation, trying to firewall the institution from a toxic asset. The only problem is, that asset is the king's own brother. This puts Charles in an impossible bind, caught between family loyalty and his duty as king. Every public event is now laced with tension, as he knows the question of his brother hangs in the air, poisoning his attempts to connect with the public. The crisis is also highlighting a rift within the family. The Prince and Princess of Wales issued their own statement of being deeply concerned, but pointedly focused their thoughts on the victims, a sign of how seriously the future king and queen are taking the reputational damage. This isn't a fire the palace can easily contain, because the rot has spread through the British establishment. The same documents have ensnared Peter Mandelson, a major political figure who was sacked as a UK ambassador in 2025. He's now facing his own police investigation over claims he may have also leaked sensitive information to Epstein, shaking the government to its core. This demonstrates the sheer scale of Epstein's network. It wasn't just a disgraced prince. It was a global web of the powerful and connected. This broader context makes the royal family's proximity to Epstein that much more toxic. It complicates any effort by King Charles to just isolate Andrew and pretend the problem is solved. The public sees a pattern of elites protecting one another, and Andrew has become the ultimate symbol of that impunity. Public sentiment is overwhelmingly clear. People want accountability, and that pressure is landing squarely on the king's shoulders. If you're interested in more deep dives into the forces shaping the monarchy and modern power, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. The endgame for Prince Andrew seems clearer than ever. He is a man in internal exile, a ghost haunting the House of Windsor. But simply keeping him out of sight doesn't solve the fundamental problem. The problem is one of credibility, not just for a man, but for the entire institution he represents. Every new revelation, every police assessment, every headline erodes the public trust that is the monarchy's lifeblood. This isn't just the end of Prince Andrew's public life. It's a profound test of King Charles's ability to protect the crown itself. He is being forced to choose between family and duty in the most public way imaginable. The fallout from this crisis may very well define his reign and the future of the House of Windsor for generations to come. The Andrew crisis is no longer about Andrew. It's about the monarchy's fight for survival in a world that has run out of patience for its secrets.